Name is Michael Shores, and today I present my poem, My Meaning of Life, in poetic form. What do people want in life? As I look out the thin pane glass, which holds me between the whipping rain outside, I question existence and the meaning of it all. Why must we work through our daily lives and complete the back-breaking tasks we are given, if only to receive a momentary want in return until we have died? Nay, I say, I refute those nihilists in their devoid towers, who truly believe we live and die by the same action. For I yearn to see meaning in my life, meaning in every moment, instead of these nihilists who only count the hours. So, to counteract such ideals, let us dive into the purpose of meaning. For a person without meaning is a person without purpose. And without purpose, how can we divulge for the betterment of self? The betterment of self is all we can do while life seems so fleeting. I begin with the age-old question, what is the meaning of life? This question only makes up the moment, for it is too complex to be answered by one person. Thus, I dedicate this poem to a single answer amongst a multitude of ones, however one, I'm sure, that will only bring more strife. It begins and ends with wants, the fundamentals of the first world, whether we want money, power, love, to help others, or even happiness. We dedicate our life to these wants and present what we have done in the afterworld. The fundamental, basic want is what we must call a momentary want, or momentous want. These come from a moment to moment and are often innate. However, they make up our every action, and are often at surface level as a storefront. But let's begin even earlier than the want. Let's start with the moment. What must we look for in every moment? There are millions of answers. I cannot give guidance to find them. So let's look to the author Viktor Frankl for such bestowment. In the bleakest of times, people can find meaning in everything, and everything from nothing. At any moment, man must decide what will be the momentum of his existence. And so people can find meaning in even the deepest of crimes. The meaning is not realized until we find what is at stake. It concerns life as well, for at any time each of the moment of which life consists of dying, and that moment will never reoccur. And so, Frankl gives us the knowledge of finding the moment. For we must make a choice, as our basic right, to find the true choice and not be fake. For the true choice is our right choice, and this choice finds us meaning. But these moments of comfort do not establish the will to live unless they help the prisoner make larger sense of his apparent senseless suffering. And so, we can find meaning in every moment, and the momentous want starts to seem like a child whose smile is beaming. Now, I can move back to the momentous want. Since the meaning of the moment has been found, and the meaning is defined by man's choices, this choice is represented as a want. So there is the momentous want. The want to make a choice and follow it. Thus, the rain continues to pour down outside, and my dark cat has jumped into my equally dark bed, searching for a spot to sleep soundly. And I wonder what his momentous want is, for does he want to sleep or simply hide? Which addresses me to another point. What is a momentous want really? I do not mean this in the sense of a meaning, but I hope to provide a real example, the catalyst of our ending. If we are given so many wants, it is hard to choose freely. Through the window, I watch the birds and trees today, those who fly far away. The wind who blows on both of them takes them to places on a whim. I watch those who are free fly in front of me, making patterns in a bright sky as they go above the rye. I watch those who rustle themselves, those you'll find have a wood-strong self. A strong storm may blow in spring, but their leaves will only sing. I watch those I so much want through a window, oh so gaunt, For I cannot leave the house to chase my favorite grouse. No, I must stay inside. And with the darkness I confide. One day I will go outside. But till that day I will hide. Yes, I watch the birds and trees today, those who so much love to play. And one day I want to join this display, but today I must only watch. The momentous want of a cat is seen in this poem. He who watches outside, but is burdened by the restrictions placed. Yet he continues to want, continues to yearn, so he plays indoors as if the grouse was below him. And the momentous want allows us to do such actions, tells us to listen to ourselves and action our want, then be prepared for the outcome it provides, and so our momentous want has so much attraction. For there are two paths to follow here, both correct. For we can be selfish, let money sway our actions, and the world follow us, and our future be free of burden, and our wallet be decked. Let the powerful stay powerful, let the rich get richer, and let me do my actions. Pay me no mind, for I am looking out for number one, even when I'm with another, and I will drink all the lemonade he has given in his sun pitcher. However, we can also see the other side. For I look out for the small guy, the average Joe. For he who is so down on his luck, let me brighten his day, so as to turn his life's tide. I want all those around me happy. We need a brighter world. The grayest days are sunny, and there's no need to feel crappy. I look out for the other guy, since it brings me joy. He now walks on all 2 feet, and sings a song of carol, so his son on Christmas Eve can perhaps get a toy. I bring too harshly both realities. However, both are valid. I say this as internally they are both following their momentous wants, and we can only agree to such ideas if it is a want, for without that want we would call their beliefs invalid. Let's look to another author on the ideas of wants. He's well known for a book named Civilization and Its Discontent, and my father often jokes at his name. So, I come to present Siggy Freud and his psychological taunts. Siggy Freud says, "We shall always tend to consider people's distress objectively, that is, to place ourselves with our own wants and sensibilities, in their conditions, and then to examine what occasions we should find in them for experiencing happiness or unhappiness. They strive after happiness. They want to become happy and to remain so." We wish for happiness. We want it. However, how do we get there? For the person who is self-centered is happy in their own way, and the person who is altruistic is also happy in their own way. So we must find a way to call this happiness from thin air. And so these momentary wants lead to a greater form, a want that is made up of all momentary wants. That is what we call the overarching want. A combination of momentary wants that create our life's goal and daily norm, the want to make a goal and follow by it. This overarching want defines our being. It creates a goal. For the altruistic person, their overarching want is to help others, to find importance in relationships, and follow that as a meaning. This lets them find a life full of outward control. The overarching want can be utilized in a selfish person's goal. They want to see the gain of their labor, define themselves by their actions. They are responsible for themselves and only themselves. And this is fulfilled life of inward control. These are both right. Made of the countless momentary wants, they define the person, and lead us to all forms of life's meaning. For the human race has an overarching want to find meaning, day and night. Humans are the countless momentary wants to find that meaning. Squabble and fight, discuss and agree, these are all the actions that define the meaning. The compound actions of humanity are all leading to this overarching want, and so every meaning presented is not necessarily intervening. For Freud said we must follow our primal desires, and Frankl wished for meaning in every moment, while the nihilists found lack of meaning important, and Prometheus wished nothing but to give humans endless fires. These overarching meanings make up the part of Earth's overarching meaning. And the nihilists find the outskirts while Freud the innards. And I guess this poem is like a blanket statement, not quite addressing the specifics, but presenting what we all contribute to a meaning. That we all contribute to a meaning. So, whether you are altruistic, self-centered, godly, or even mortal, each definition of a person, each overarching want, is made up of of momentary wants. And we must find this overarching want to see who we are, and so we can present ourselves when we are post-mortal. Then, within the final moment, when all paths cross into one, and God or death calls to you, you can see if you have truly identified, if you followed your overarching wants. For if you did, you are happy and satisfied and called this life fun. Or, if you didn't, you have been filled with dread and despair and enter the eternal abyss. There, the rain has ended, the clouds have parted, and my cat stretches oh so wide. Perhaps I ought to find my want in this moment, or perhaps I ought to finish what I started. I look out the thin paned glass, which holds me between the beautiful, sunny day outside, and I find existence and the meaning of it all. We must work through our daily lives and complete the momentary wants, for only then can we achieve overarching wants and happiness when we have died. It needs some commentary on the side. I think it needs an afterthought, like Frankl had after his life, after he discussed the prison, he discussed his philosophy. So I think in that same regard, I shall discuss the philosophy presented here. See, we begin with the momentary wants. Every action that we do, every choice that we are given, whatever choice we choose, whatever choice we want to choose, that is a want. We want to, we want to do this, we want to do that. Let's for this philosophy choose an analogy, correct? Let's choose an analogy of a hiking path, right? And your very first choice given to you, questionably given to you, is whether you are born or not born. You start the path. Some argue that you don't have a choice whether you are born or not born, but I think there is a choice to choose if you want to live in this world, and it's questionable per person. But there's some choice that starts you down the path, right? The very first choice. And if that's after the born, it's whether you choose to live or die after being born, right? That is your very first choice. Correct? This starts you down the path. However, you go down the path for a little bit, and then you hit a fork. And whichever choice you go, whatever you choose, whether you choose to do this or you choose to do that, you create a want to go down that certain path on the fork, right? And you're continuously hitting forks, and you're continuously wanting to go down a certain choice branch, right? And you're continuously going left, right, left, right, etc. Right? And you're going down this path. And, in your mind, you have this goal. So you're going, and no matter what you presented, it continues going down this path. And I think it really comes to a point of momentary want. The momentary want is nothing but choosing a certain fork, right? Choosing what path to take down a fork. And even if you're presented, let's say, down a momentary path where there is, a fork, and then there's an endless stream of endless opportunities and endless wants and endless beings. And for the people that choose that stream of endless wants, endless beings, that is a choice to go down that stream. And that is a momentary want. And all of a sudden you have a bunch of wants on you. It's like winning the lottery. And you have so many momentary wants. You have so many wants. You have the possibility, winning the lottery, you win a lot of money, and you have the possibility to buy so much, and you have so many momentary wants. And that, and the question becomes then, was that the right choice? And that's where the idea of the overarching want comes in, right? The overarching want is when you reflect. When you reflect upon yourself, when you're reflecting upon the past, And the path and the choices you've taken down these forks and the path that you've created, that path is your overarching want. Whether you are greedy, and you choose, um, you choose a certain doctrine, and you want certain power or money, that's the path that you chose, and you continuously go down the path. And if you continuously go down being greedy, you will live a life that is greedy and be happy by it. But if all of a sudden you're continuously doing altruistic actions, you change that path, you will not be happy because you originally chose to be greedy, right? And that's the question of the endless wants. If you chose a life where you want endless possibilities and endless wants and endless things, then that was the right choice. You did a good job going down the path of the river. But if you chose a life where you want a simple life, or you want something with more directness and more um, straightforwardness, then you chose the wrong path. And the overarching want can only be defined by the choices that you look upon in the past. You reflect upon the past, and then all of a sudden, the overarching want, it leads to happiness. It leads to the momentary want of the earth, to find the find the overall meaning of life, a definitive version of how to get happy. And the happiness to the human being, if you followed your beliefs, if you followed being greedy or altruistic or etc., if you followed being what you started off with, then if you want to go to Italy, France, and sit at the beach there, and that was your end goal, and you end there, you're happy, you enjoy the sun, you enjoy everything around you. But if you want to end up in Italy, France, and all of a sudden you end up in the jungles of Africa, right? It's still a place, it's still cool, but you didn't want to be there. You didn't want to be bug bitten and flea ridden, and all of a sudden you're really miserable and not happy. And that's when you didn't follow the momentary. That's when you didn't follow the correct overarching want in your momentary wants. And the goal of life, then, the goal of life, not to end in jungles of Africa and ending off in Sicily, Italy, is for you to find the right path. You must reflect upon your path. Choose what your overarching want was, since the originality. What did you originally choose? And then, as you continue through life, to choose the correct momentary wants, to continue abiding by that momentary want, to continue abiding by the overarching want, and leading to the final happiness. And that, in a sense, is my philosophy of momentary wants. Thank you for listening.